Council acknowledges the Wadawurrung traditional owners of this land, and I pay my respects to all elders past and present, and to all Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people who are part of the greater Geelong community today. Committee members are advised that this virtual meeting is being recorded and will be published on the Council's website. If any committee member loses connectivity with this meeting, they will be marked as absent for the time they are away. If a quorum cannot be maintained during the meeting due to members losing connectivity, we will adjourn the meeting for 10 minutes to re-establish a quorum. If a quorum cannot be achieved, the meeting will be abandoned and postponed until next Tuesday, the
23rd of June.
23rd of June at 7:30 a.m. Voting will be by a show of hands, and also to speak to an item, please raise your hand. We ask you to keep your mic muted when you are not speaking to limit any background noise. Thanks. As per the requirement of the COVID-19 Omnibus Bill 2020, Part 12, Clause 394, can I please have a show of hands from everybody that you can see and hear myself and the other committee members? And we've done that.
I can't see Heidi's camera. I can't see Heidi. Oh, and you know what?
Sorry, I'm having
Peter
issues. So I'm just trying to get into the office.
Oh, okay, no problem.
But I can see everyone else.
Okay, great. Emma, who's taking the minutes, can you just mark Heidi absent, just because we can't see Heidi at the moment, that's all, until Heidi's...
I'll be on in about 10 minutes.
Okay, terrific, thank you.
Yeah, will do.
Okay, so the apologies were Bernie?
Yes, and...
That's Bernie Perry, and...
I'm just letting Mark Gallen in to the meeting, who's the manager, Central Geelong Waterfront. Good morning, Mark. The others are Amber Smith and Ben Flynn, who I'm still expecting that they both may come into the meeting at some point.
Very good. All right, if there's any declarations of any conflict of interest now or as the meeting progresses, just raise your hand and we'll deal with that. The acceptance of previous minutes from the May meeting. Need a mover and a seconder for those. Moved Steph Davies, second Rachel. All those in favour? Any matters arising from those minutes, Jodie?
Yes, there were 3 matters arising, and the first was investigating the options for in regards to the celebrity chef with the supplier. We've made the offer, Hugo, of the $3,500 deposit, as was the discussion and the recommendation of the committee. We're still waiting back at sitting with this, the supplier's CEO, and we have been chasing them, advising them that we had a committee meeting this morning, but we're still chasing that. So at the moment, we've said that we would pay the 3.5 and would finish the agreement at that point. So I'll provide an update to the committee when I hear back from that. The other action was delivering the Spend and Win campaign in August as per the committee decision. So we're progressing with that. And the other was just confirming and changing the documentation for the change of date and the updated partnership agreement for the Roan exhibition with the Geelong Gallery. So all actioned at this stage, but I'll provide an update on the progress of the deposit.
Thanks, Jodie. All right, we'll move on then. If there's no questions on any of those. The question time.
We did not receive any questions to our email address. So the way that it works now is, because it's not a meeting where people can attend, in the newspaper article or the newspaper notice that goes in to advise that we're having the committee meeting, people can send questions for the committee to consider, but we did not receive any. So no questions to be answered from the public today.
Okay, we'll move straight on to the section B, the reports and the finance summary.
So the finance summary is in the meeting pack. this is for May. As you can see, we are underspent, but that's because there's a significant number of programs that we haven't delivered as yet. Because we're a Section 86 committee, we do get to carry the money over to when those programs will be delivered. So I've been speaking with Council's finance team, and we will be carrying over whatever the amount of the special rate is left at the end of this financial year to deliver the program. So for instance, the May Magic campaign, which has been changed to a spend and win, moving into the August delivery. So there's no issue with that. We're still ticking along where we're able to continue our programs. Clearly there's still expenditure on those, and we'll just keep you updated as we get close to the end of June and moving into the new financial year.
Very good. Any questions to Jodie on that finance? Do we need a mover and seconder for those, Jodie?
No, they're just for noting.
All right, we won't for noting. All right, so the update, the Central Geelong Response Recovery Initiatives.
Okay. So sorry, I'm going to look off screen. I've got 3 screens going. Sorry. The committee or the Central Marketing team continue to support a wide range of businesses as we move into what's becoming more of the recovery stage as businesses open. We've been providing information within council to assist in the discussion, development and delivery of the COVID-19 response and recovery initiatives. We are providing interpretation of the device count figures in Central Geelong, and we can see that they're starting to track back up as people are coming back into the city. The business sentiment from team contacts, so we're providing the Economy, Investment and Attraction division feedback from the discussions that we're having one-on-one with business operators to help formulate the packages and also the offers within those packages in regards to what mentoring or training or one-on-one assistance can be available. We are working hard to keep track on the website and the app about how businesses are trading. So the open shut, who's working from home, who's got change capacity, different offers, different products. And we're using that information again to feed into council where necessary as they're making decisions in regards to COVID assistance packages. We are providing feedback to council as well on park and ride usage, which has clearly gone down significantly as a result of free parking in Central Geelong, so and with reduced numbers of workers in the city. We are using the Central Focus, so we've been doing a weekly Central Focus right up until this week as a tool to communicate the business support packages out to the traders. It has increased to weekly, but we will be dropping it back to fortnightly, just making sure that we want to make sure that the information that we're sending out is new and fresh each time. So we've prepared a script for or a frequently asked questions sheet for the team. So when they're talking one-on-one with businesses, they're able to actually direct them where possible to training programs, etc., where the free mentoring is available. So making sure that those one-on-one conversations aren't just about Central Geelong programs, but more broadly about what the support mechanism is within council and also stakeholder groups like the Chamber or VECI. The team has had hundreds and hundreds of one-on-one contacts with businesses operators via phone and email during COVID, and I want to take my hat off to the team for the support that they've been providing to business operators throughout Central Geelong. It's been remarkable, and they really have been listening to some really challenging conversations and being able to provide support and assistance where possible. And the businesses have been very grateful for that support that we've been providing. So the other part of it is making sure that we're communicating with our subscribers and followers. So making sure that we're in regular communications with each of our databases, keeping them engaged, showcasing the things that we're doing, that businesses are doing differently in Central Geelong. Workers' offers have continued online, so making sure that workers are still engaged. Good morning, Heidi. I can see you there now. Heidi's now on screen. Increased social media, so use of Instagram stories and making sure that we're really communicating out what they're doing. Increased calls to action, so asking people through social media to take action. and use of incentives to build subscriber numbers and engage the existing audience. As far as just more general promotion of Central Geelong, we're still continuing with the weekly article in the Geelong Independent that I'm writing, which is listing businesses and showcasing a different part of the Central Geelong offer each week. Our radio messaging has been changed to promote the businesses doing things differently and reopening. The updates to signage boards, increased blogs, the Your Service campaign for professional services has resumed. We just had paused that for a little while during the really the highest level of restrictions, and then all the web and app updates that are happening. So our information that's going out and directories are very up to date. And then our program delivery continues, of course. So Taste of Central Geelong, which I'll talk about a bit later, the winter school holidays is still happening, and our workers offers and other programs, Spend and Win is underway. Just an update, there's sort of a few different arms about how we're still continuing to deliver our service, but we'll continue to communicate that out. That's all from me.
Okay, thanks. Just on that, Jodie, have you got the, I'm just reading, 75% of businesses have been closed in the CBD?
At the peak, yes. And it doesn't mean that they weren't trading at all. It just means that they might have been trading from home, or they may have changed trading conditions. But it's increasing now that there's definitely more retail and more hospitality open. But I think both the centres will attest to the fact that it was very low numbers of open doors during the peak.
Yeah, wow. Okay, anyone else got any comments or questions for Jodie?
Jodie, I just wanted to, if it's not already been brought to your attention, maybe it has. I was on the initial meetings for the City of Greater Geelong Arts and Culture COVID Recovery Panel. So there was about 20 people on the initial panel, then there was 2 or 3 other meetings. So I'm not aware of the findings, aren't released yet, but just it would be good to keep an eye on that, because that covers obviously all our arts and culture venues, and that's obviously being run by Martin and Duncan in arts and culture, but it will obviously have a flow on to our retail sector when they announce what they're doing in their recovery phase.
Thanks, Hugo. Both Mark and I sit within the Economy, Investment and Attraction Division of Council. So there's some regular meetings that Martin and Duncan are in with Mark and I. So keeping up to date on that as much as possible.
Just, Hugo, I can perhaps speak to that a little bit. The new support initiatives, and you're right, the Heritage, Arts and Culture is one of them. And we've got a briefing on that tonight, and that comes to council on the 30th of June. And so I think you'll be pleased with what's in it, but not till the 30th of June.
No, that's great.
Yeah. All right, anyone else? Okay, the Taste of Geelong, Jodie.
I will do the update on this. Nikki's off camera at the moment, and I won't put her on the spot. But I hope all committee members saw the email from me, not last week, but the week before, with the Taste of Central Geelong first program release. So that happened on the 5th of June out to our databases and the wider community to promote the first version of the program. So I think given the circumstances that restaurants and cafes have been in, to come up with a program with that level of content at this time, I think is a testament to the hard work of Nikki, but also the dedication of the restaurants and cafes who are very keen to get people back into their venues. So the first program has, I guess, as we explained, the activities and events that will be able to be delivered regardless of what the level of restriction is. There's no large group activities. Everything that is being offered can be done in small groups, following all social distancing requirements, or alternatively in small family groups. So the program itself will roll out as additional opportunities present themselves as businesses are able to expand their offer as the capacity restrictions change. We will be able to add additional things into that program. So there's another program release that will come up shortly, which is release 2, and then there'll be another release as we get closer to the start date in July. But definitely the things like the recipes at home, where we're asking people to recreate using 4 recipes from 4 chefs. We're hoping that that gets featured significantly in the upcoming Food and Wine edition of GT magazine, which is out not this weekend but next weekend. So we're working with the editorial team on that, as well as promoting it heavily to our wider subscriber base and the general public through Facebook, Google Ads, all of those kind of things. I don't know, I'm hoping everyone saw it. I sent out the taste program to the committee and I had 1 response back. So I'm hoping that everyone saw it and that, you know, we do ask that committee members share that widely to your networks wherever possible.
Yeah. It looks like the work that Nikki has done there is fantastic, and to come up with that, great result. Is there going to be a printed version, Jody?
We're not doing a printed version this year. There are in the local print media, there will be sort of smaller sort of 1-page, double-page spreads which will tell people about the program. But to actually go and print the program this year, given that the issue around paper sitting in, normally what we would do is print them and they'd sit in restaurants and cafes, or people aren't going to touch programs that are sitting in cafes and things. So we're just keeping it to an entire virtual delivery this year.
Yep, you go.
Jody, letterbox dropping has started again, as some of us might have noticed, and I think the idea not to print the program is an excellent one. I completely concur. And I want to say I did respond, although it was at 7 a.m. this morning, to the Tastes program. As an event organiser, I think what you guys have achieved is unbelievable in the circumstances. So, you know, a heartfelt congratulations. As we've got some surplus funds, and as a lot of it is home delivered, I'm personally and professionally a big believer that the old letterbox drop works. That's why Aldi still uses it. I reckon the day Aldi stops letterbox dropping is the day we can all stop letterbox dropping. But rather than printing a whole program, whether we could get an insert or print just some general teaser flyers, whether it's a DL or an A5 or something. And I know letterbox dropping is expensive, having done a lot of it, or an insert in a publication that is letterbox drop, because full letterbox dropping started about a week ago again. So look, I'm just wondering whether there is an opportunity, what other people feel, whether we, because the home delivery nature of a lot of our providers, whether we actually do a letterbox drop to Geelong or an insert in someone else's letterbox drop, whether that's one of our, our publications like the Indie, but really just getting that home consumer, because obviously it's not safe to put them in the cafes, the hard print. But I know there's a lot of cost in hard printing and quite a lot of cost in home delivery.
We can definitely look at the options. I think it is expensive, and it does take considerable numbers to do an effective letterbox drop. To let you know, what we have done though is we've got a full page in the community update, which is the City of Greater Geelong's publication, which goes out to every home within the municipality. So we've been able to get an entire page within that publication, which goes out to every home. We would normally have a wrap on that publication, but we didn't have sufficient content at that stage to be able to fill 4 pages about a month ago when that content was due. So I don't know whether that is getting into every home within the municipality, whether or not you think that that's sufficient.
I think that
instead of printing.
I think that's definitely step one. I wonder whether even if we knew what our top couple of postcodes are, now I could make some broad brush strokes here, but I could be accused of profiling our postcodes, but I'd probably say
Oh, we know our post. We know them, Hugo. We've got them. Yeah,
so
absolutely.
what I was thinking was whether, if a letterbox drop is feasible, and of course that's up to you guys, but pick the top 3 or 4 postcodes that we know will get really, the best bang for the buck of a letterbox drop, to say, here's a home delivery option, but also here's who's open and here's where you can go, etc., etc. But look, the community update is obviously a huge coup.
Fabulous.
When does that community update go out, Jodie?
Nikki might tell me. It is. I think it's supposed to
Sorry,
be.
hello.
Hello, Nikki.
It should be dropping this week or late last week. So it's the June-July edition. So they usually try and go the second week of the month.
Okay. Well, it's probably out there now. I just heard it arrive. All right. Fabulous. And we expect to see all members of the committee out and about during July at different venues. Is that right, Jodie?
That's what we hope. And when you do it, you need to tag us and take a nice picture.
Okay. The Cats partnership.
Okay.
Oh, sorry. Look, before you do get onto that, Jodie, I know Nikki's there now. So well done, Nikki, on this. Fantastic, great result, and hard work that you've done on this is congratulations.
Thank you.
Jodie.
Okay. So at the last committee meeting, I just provided a short update to say that the certainly elements of the Cats partnership were unable to be delivered with a changed AFL season. And I'd been in discussions with the Cats trying to get a sense of what they were thinking was happening with the season, knowing that we'd already made the first instalment. So our partnership with the Cats is a $50,000 partnership, and which provides a whole range of not only matchday exposure, but use of Cats players in videos, appearances, school holiday programs, etc., as well as significant appearances during the on photo shoots for Taste of Central Geelong, the sidewalk sales as well. The challenge was the season is clearly going to be or has been impacted, and even though we think that there may be some attendance of spectators at upcoming games, it's not going to be to the same extent. And a lot of our, it was based around the 9 home games and the exposure to people going to Geelong home games, knowing that we were capturing people that were coming into the city from outside and exposing them to our programs and encouraging the use of Central Geelong venues both before and after games, as well as being able to promote specific campaigns at those games. So last year, you will remember that we had, the Taste video that was playing at the games. We were able for one particular game promote Taste and hand out things to people as they were coming into the venue, and then showcasing the Taste of Central Geelong at one of the President's functions. So what I've asked the Cats to go back and do is to really try and say, what is it that we can genuinely deliver as part of this partnership? And let's be realistic that I don't believe that there's a $50,000 partnership that can be delivered this year that is going to provide us with what we wanted it to do. So the Cats have come back. Clearly with the school holidays, we'd already done the AFL player and appearance. So we've done the whole photo shoot for the school holiday program, but the player appearances at upcoming school holiday programs will not be able to happen because we will not be encouraging large groups of people to come into any particular location. And the social media campaign around the school holidays with the use of the photos can still happen. So it's the player appearance component of the school holiday program that can't happen. the Taste of Central Geelong. So normally we would do 5 videos with the cats with players in various venues throughout Central Geelong, working with restaurants and cafes and making things. We've done it for a couple of years, and it's actually been a really great teaser for the Taste program. It's been able to get really good reach and engagement. However, we weren't able to film those, but the cats have come back, and we actually can't get access to their players either at the moment. So the players can't come and do any of the filming, given the restrictions that they're training and playing under. But the cats have come up and offered some past players who they actually think may be a little more media savvy than the current players that we sometimes use. So players like Andrew Mackie, Matthew Stokes, there was a few that they suggested, and still do the same filming in venues to promote Taste, and do that filming over the remainder of June, and then use that throughout July to promote and releasing that via Cats Media, Cats Facebook page, Instagram and website, and then of course us releasing those as well concurrently on ours. The other part was the Sidewalk Sales Shopping Festival AFLW player appearance. So that one as well. We still don't know what's happening with the Melbourne Cup. I've heard a few various things about whether or not the Melbourne Cup date changes. I don't think it's been confirmed to still run on that particular date. So I think we need to really think about what that means for the shopping festival and sidewalk sales, and we need to again just wait for government advice on that. And then the other component, sorry.
No, the Spring Carnival is racing as normal.
As normal? Okay. Yeah. All right. The other is the Matchday Exposures. So even if it was reduced capacity at the stadium, the exposure that we would have had previously is not going to be the same. And the Cats, in replacement of that, have proposed some digital advertising campaigns, doing homepage buyouts of their website, etc. Thinking that the run of sight and the impressions that we would get on that for our programs would be equivalent. I don't necessarily think that that's the same level of value. And the other component that they have offered us is exclusive Geelong Cats prizes. So to try and put a junior mascot into, someone gets the opportunity to position themselves in an official team photo, some merchandise packs as prizes, and also they're offering us a dedicated section on the member benefits page. So if we had discounts and things, the challenge is that we don't offer a specific product or service for discounting. We're really showcasing what the businesses do. So they've tried to cobble together a program of what they can offer with some genuine offers in there, but whether or not they're actually going to hit the mark for what we originally wanted it to do. It was about the Geelong weekend. It was about showcasing the offer in Central Geelong before and after games. And it was about bringing the players into Geelong venues and showing the community that the players were part of Central Geelong, and that these venues were, used and appreciated and part of the social scene for them as well. So I'm not sure, I'll leave it to you guys to discuss, but I'd like to think that the use of the players, we can still promote tastes, and we could come out with a package of a value of around $25,000, which is the instalment that has already been paid to the Cats, and that there wouldn't be an instalment in the second half of the year, because there isn't the value for us in that particular offer. I'll leave it across to you guys to have a chat.
So Jodie, what they've proposed, and is part of the pack, that's what they're saying is the $50,000.
Yeah, they're still saying that what they've proposed has the same value as the original partnership.
There's a lot of people shaking their heads.
So is there an option to pick and mix that
Yes.
that offer, so we could basically reduce the price?
So what we would go back and say is that we think this, and this has a value of $25,000, which we've already paid, and we'd like to see that delivered as this year. And I think that would be a reasonable offer. Because people are still, interested. Football started again. There is, certainly a level of interest, and we have been able to leverage that connection with the cats, and the businesses value it greatly if they can be featured in one of the videos or spoken about. That there really is value in that, and people like to see the players in the venues. We know that that's been a really key outcome and highly valued and watched in the 2 previous years that we've done that.
You go.
Jody, I'll jump in. Having a background in some sponsorship, I'll say that the players' idea is a must, and also, as you've indicated, but I'll say that the idea of having past players who are more media savvy actually should be carried forward into the future and have a combination in the future of past and present players. I think the young players that aren't that media savvy are also often much more popular, and I understand that, but having a mix in the future would be a post-COVID win. I actually think using the past players this year who can really sell a message is actually a win to us. The 25 grand budget, I think, is a win, but I think if Peter indicated everyone's shaking their head, it's like the Maggie Beers thing. These agreements were made in the spirit of a post-COVID world. And I'd actually, going back to my idea about the flyer drop, not propose that they do a flyer drop, but did they actually propose an EDM? Because I would think within the 25 grand, actually their database, I don't know how many members they got, 60, 70,000?
They've got one EDM in a cat's wrap, and they estimate the reach of that's about 45,000 people.
I'd be thinking we could, which means you, of course, maybe in the 25 grand, the mix and match stuff, the EDM stuff is basically getting stuff in people's letterbox, and that could be a really powerful thing for Central Geelong.
Yeah.
So maybe a couple of EDMs, like a follow-up, a teaser, and then a follow-up that's got some, clencher to it. But I think you're absolutely right in your summary of the arrangement that it should be capped at 25. And look, if they want to top it up with more past players doing more videos in more venues, clearly you've identified that as a really big plus, not only for our audience, but also our shoppers and our venues. Maybe we ask them to expand the past players things, as the average past player is often quite happy to support the club, support the town, and they're very, very media savvy. So that could be something that really helps boost the morale of our business people as well.
Mm-hmm.
Anyone else got any comment to make on it? I think there's work to be done on that, Jody, isn't there?
There is.
What they've proposed, I mean, with their website and what they can do in the social media side is what they did last year.
Yes.
So to me, it doesn't seem to have improved on that. And yet they still want the 50 grand. I think there's some work to be done.
Rachel's got her hand up there.
Oh, sorry, Rachel.
Yeah, I was just thinking about the conversation last year when we looked at this agreement, and it was about getting bums on seats so that people could see our Central Geelong messaging, and then it was about creating the content from the players. So if we can't get the content from the players, and there are no new bums on seats coming to the MHBA Stadium, this proposal for me, even at 25, is not what our plan was. I don't think it's if the money's spent and it's gone, that's better than nothing. But yeah, it's not the content we wanted, is it? It's tricky.
No, it's not.
And maybe that's just bad luck. But yeah.
Greg?
And,
Sorry, Rachel. Sorry.
that's right. I was just going to say that I know Cameron Ling does excellent. Like he can just walk in and deliver. So I mean, we could get some good content, but it's not going to be quite. I mean, maybe we can get him in a restaurant and that kind of stuff. Maybe we can do it, but yeah, it's a tricky one.
Yeah, good point, Rachel. Greg, you got to take yourself on mute, Greg.
How do I do that?
Yep, start again.
Okay. I'd just like to say I agree. I don't believe that the Cats honestly think that they're delivering $50,000 worth of value, but I understand why they're obviously trying to, get as much money as they can. But I think the concept, what we're saying, 25 grand, we shouldn't be paying anymore. There's no way they can deliver what we expected at all.
Yep, thanks, Greg. Felicity.
I was going to ask, I noticed on the game on Friday night, we did have I think it was Geelong weekends on the screens around the ground. I noticed that they haven't put any value of that into this partnership. I assume that it's going to be for any games that are televised.
That was, we're not supposed to get any screen time at all.
Okay, so that's a bonus.
Yeah. So part of our agreement was that the fence, that's all in the breaks, because it's about people in the stadium seeing our messaging because they're from Geelong or they're visiting Geelong, because it's always home games. They probably had the opportunity to put additional signage up during that game on the weekend.
Yeah. No worries. And I was going to say too, though, like I saw it, and because I know what it is, I noticed it. But I think I was watching it with friends. They had no idea what it said or what it meant anyway. So I was going to say there's probably not a huge value in it.
Because the actual messaging is for people to see in the stadium, where there's lots of it and it's easy to read, and then you're quite close up to it. So it's not for broadcast.
Yeah.
Generally, it hasn't been designed for that.
Cool.
All right, I think you see the general thoughts of the
So what I'll do is I'll go back to the Cats and say that we want to piece together a valuable sponsorship at $25,000 maximum that still provides us with the key elements of that we had previously, but that there isn't an appetite for trying to eke out a $50,000 sponsorship if it's not going to deliver what the committee originally intended with our agreement.
Yeah. Tell them a good try, but just not good enough. All right.
I will.
Yeah. Good luck. Good luck. Okay, the month overview.
Okay, just a couple of things. Our training and professional development continues that we do in conjunction with Tourism Greater Geelong and the Ballerine. So there's an upcoming training session on the 18th of June, which is collaboration for the creative team leader, and that's been moved to a webinar. The digital, you'll see in the meeting pack that there is the digital reports, and just, we are still increasing our followers on both Facebook and Instagram. Clearly the website has had a hit, even though we're still getting people to the website. And it's predominantly because a lot of what we do is so events driven as well. And so people are coming to the website for different events and activities, and when they're not happening, that has impacted as well. So we're still working hard on that. The app is increasing with the number of installations, and proving our point yet again. The top 5 Facebook posts, the top one was a dessert. If you've got a donut or a pancake or a cake, the reach for that post is going to be extraordinary. The other elements are tenancy database. So we're still updating as much as possible, and we'll do another tenancy database coming up in the end of June, early July, to give us an idea of how that's tracking. We do know the vacancy rate, the on-ground vacancy rate, which was at 8.8, has gone up to 9% at this stage. The workers' office still getting really good engagement with that from workers at home, and the businesses are really appreciating that. And the professional services campaign has recommenced with our Google AdWords, so we expect to see that the moving up in the website hits. With the Christmas campaign, I'm part of a working group within council which is looking at Christmas for 2020. Clearly there's some things that we talked about doing as a committee when we evaluated Christmas, things like the ball pit where everyone goes in and throws all the balls around. Won't be happening in a post-COVID environment. So just having a look at where those particular features that the committee had agreed that they like. So the 3D artwork, the trails, the augmented reality, all of those kind of things will definitely be part of our delivery, because it will allow us to move people through the city in a safe way. One of the things that we're doing for the winter school holiday program, which will be released next week, is a scavenger hunt. So working with a local provider and gamifying moving through the city. So people have to ask questions, they have to take pictures of things, and it's about a 90-minute game that people will play, but also has the opportunity within it to say, take a break, why don't you go and get a coffee, all of those kind of things. So actually, or maybe not a coffee for the children, just for the mum, but stop and get something to eat. So really trying to gamify that experience and encourage people into the city in a safe way. The other part of the school holiday program next week is there's lots of virtual activities. So there will be, things that people will be able to do at home, but have reference back to Central Geelong. So the cardboard challenge at home, but we're asking people to make an iconic building or element of Central Geelong, and so then it starts that they post it. And the other is that there's a treat hunt, so working with a number of small food providers, and people have to find particular stickers in the windows, answer a question in the venue, and they'll actually get a free item. So working with those businesses to encourage people in, and the onus is on the participants in those activities to follow the activities in a safe way. So you must social distance, you've got to read the signs before you go into the premises, and make sure you're not above capacity limits and things. So that's exciting, and Belinda's worked hard on that particular program to deliver a mix of on-street but also at-home activities to keep people engaged. And that's the only other thing I did want to say was at the council meeting last week, all elected committee members' terms were extended for another year. So stakeholder positions each year, the stakeholder group can say, this is who our representative is, but the elected positions, who are our business, strip retail business representatives, our commercial property, arts and culture and accommodation, have been extended for a 1-year term. So thank you. That's it from me.
So whether you like it or not, you guys, thanks, Jodie. Anyone else? Any comments on any of the latest from Jodie?
I'd just like to say, Peter, it's Mark Gallen speaking, that when you just look at or listen to the report that Jodie's provided and the previous discussion around the taste, just shows how that team has been able to turn on a 20-cent piece and take a completely different direction and deliver a product, which I think is remarkable, as well as continuing on with the really base information that's really important to businesses and the community generally about tenancy rates and footfall on our streets. I think the way that they've been able to, keep a stiff upper lip and just get on with the business is just incredible.
Yeah, well said, Mark, and here. And working under a bit of pressure too, Jody, and keeping one eye on what is said in the council chamber, and to continue to produce what your team has done. So fantastic. So I know Nikki and Emma are there, and yourself, Jody. So pass on our appreciation to the rest of the team of the work done. So keep up the good work. Yeah.
Thanks.
Anyone got any questions on any of that? Otherwise, no one's got a hand up. General business. Well, there's no confidential matters, so I've gone straight into general business, Jody. So I might go around my screen. Felicity, got anything for us?
No, probably pretty similar to what the team are doing, just working with all of our retailers, getting them back on track. We're back up to around 90% of our shops open. And yeah, I've been working with them as well, trying to get them involved in tastes and school holidays and all of that kind of thing. But things are starting to look up and traffic's definitely increasing as well. So feeling a bit more positive.
Good. Rachel?
So we pivoted all of our media content to the healthier at home concept. So we've changed our health magazine to a healthier at home concept, and information on telehealth and how to use that to its best capacity. We've also partnered with, I mentioned this last month, but not specifically, we partnered with Keza. So Keza Training are physio, and with them so people can do physio from home, but also any of our extras members get no gap physiotherapy. So really trying to encourage that. And yeah, it's really it's exciting. If anyone's done Keza, it's a pretty big win. And now I'm getting interruption messages about my internet, so if I drop out, apologies.
You did a little bit, but I think we messaged that certainly the Kaiser or Kaiser, whatever, it's been big on the tally.
Yeah.
Thank you. Greg. Just unmute yourself, Greg.
Howdy. Thank you. We've finally seen a turnaround here for accommodation. This month it's been primarily corporates. By the end of this month, all of our one bedrooms will be full with people coming in for the shutdown at Shell. So that gives us a couple of months of accommodation there. Probably the only thing that we aren't seeing yet is we're not seeing the families getting away for a weekend. It is more the corporates, coming down for work, etc. So hopefully next month we'll see a few families coming down as well. And it's been good to see some cars in Novotel for change.
Very good. Lucy.
Yeah, so we're still continuing online. We are welcoming back some of our students, still maintaining social distancing. It's still a little bit difficult, again, given the nature of most of our courses. We're coming to the end of our mid-year campaigns and seeing some courses really struggling, mostly like cookery and tourism, because obviously a little bit difficult to promote at the moment. We are offering some free community courses. So just with a focus to reskill the community for those people who have lost their jobs. So there's some in like, business admin, medical admin, warehousing, some of those industries that are still operating. So for people who have lost their jobs and it's not going to look like an immediate return or, into the future, that's an option for them. And yeah, just slowly reopening, but we'll get more direction after the 26th of June to see what we do with the rest of our students.
Yeah, okay, thanks. Steph.
Morning, everyone. We're sort of just business as usual. We've pretty much soldiered on, just as is, except for a location change being at home. I get to go to Melbourne today for the first time and look at all my new sites that we actually own that I've never seen before. But yeah, from our perspective, it's sort of we're unchanged. We're still happy to spend money in the community. We're looking to buy a couple of different sites at the moment. So yeah, for us, we're pretty happy considering. And from a personal front, I got 2 new friends at home. We got 2 kittens. So now I can stay at home forever, which is fun.
Very good. And I hope you're catching the ferry to Melbourne.
Yeah, I don't know. That's actually up to my boss.
Well, you should be on the ferry. Get on it. It's it's the easiest way to get to Melbourne and back.
Okay, all right. I'll flag it with him when I see him in about half an hour.
I think it's only going on weekends at the moment, guys.
Yeah. Thanks, Pete.
It is, Narelle, it is. Commenced last Saturday, Sunday last weekend.
But good point, Pete. Good point. I like your strategy.
Yeah. Hugo.
Hi. I think this is a really interesting snapshot of where the differences in businesses' ability to start. I'm in the music industry, and I just want to say our industry, live music, needs 75% capacity or above. As you'd imagine, most successful music concerts that you go to are close to sellout or they're not successful. So social distancing is not an option. We've launched a campaign called Save Our Scene, and I just want to draw your attention that Victoria has 700 music venues. That's 100,000 gigs a year with an economic impact of $1.42 billion across the live music economy. That's just to break it down into some football terms for you. That's 112,000 people every Saturday night attending live music. That's one grand final crowd every weekend, 52 weekends a year. We're an industry that's on our knees. Of the 700 music venues, 45% of them are about to close within a matter of weeks. My business is costing $12,000 a month to sit with JobKeeper and all other supports, and I would estimate that we'll be bankrupt in about three months at the most. I've pulled my super, but we can't go and refinance on a business that's at the moment being told you need a vaccine that hasn't been invented. They haven't cured AIDS yet, let alone this virus. So how do we restart a business and an economy without knowing that social distancing is probably impossible for most of our music events? So look, we're in a really bad state. I urge everyone to go to saveourscene.com.au. Fiona Patton from the Reason Party. So it's not political. She's putting it up to Parliament. And I've been working with Elaine Carbines, Jeremy Johnson, the head of the COVID recovery panel, Roger Grant, Brett Ince, Mark Gallen, and a team of others with a plan to try and restart live music. And in a nutshell, potentially where you can attend live music venues without social distancing if you've had a COVID test within 2 weeks. We're meant to be the creative state. We're meant to be clever and creative. There is an opportunity. The Barwon Club's agreed to be a test venue, but this is a long way off. So this week, I'm facilitating a phone meeting with Christine Cousins, who's going to pitch this to the Premier. But if we can't come up on a way to start live music, we basically are going to lose a massive, massive part of our economy and, of course, the added flow and benefits to all our businesses. So, look, if anyone feels comfortable to look and sign the petition, we need a roadmap, because there is, at the moment, we're just in the too hard basket. And the government says they want to do more testing. What if you want to go to 3 festivals a year, you're going to need 3 COVID tests? We're an industry that's got security guards, bag checks. So this would apply to ticketed events, of course. Non-ticketed events could, like your free acoustic music can happen in a pub right now. There's nothing stopping that under the current guidelines. I'm talking about actually starting up. So anyhow, things are really tough. Our Workers Club in Geelong closed this week. You may or may not be aware that it's shut. And it's a sign of things to come across Victoria if we can't get a roadmap to recovery. And you probably saw me laughing. I wasn't surprised that the Spring Carnival was going ahead. But what about our music festivals and our Festival of Sail? I know that there's no way forward for that at the moment. The Yacht Club committee's put everything on hold. So there has to be some kind of roadmap that's safe. So look, it's a huge opportunity. It's also an opportunity for Geelong to be a world leader if we can develop a safe roadmap. So I won't bore you with the details, but I'm working pretty hard to restart our industry. The Bar and Club Hotels on the Australian Hotels Association panel, and there is an opportunity, but it's going to take a lot.
Okay, thanks, Hugo. So saveourscene.com.au.
Yep, and it's not Liberal Labor, it's an independent, but they can't just leave us. Cherry Bar in Melbourne they went public this week, but I would say that most of our venues, well, 45% of 700 venues, why would we let an industry like that collapse? Unfortunately, the music industry probably doesn't have the strength of the lobby groups that other industries have had, and that's to our peril.
Yep. Okay. Steph.
Yeah, so we're going along nicely at the moment, still here in Geelong at our blood donor centre, still finding that a lot of people are still coming in, obviously because they've got a bit more time on their hands. And also this week is National Blood Donor Week. So this time of the year, every year, we usually have huge events all across Australia to recognise our blood donors. However, we've obviously been in the same boat as everybody else and had to cancel all those events. So we're just trying to recognise all our amazing blood donors that have donated over 1.5 million donations in the past year. So that's a busy week for us here at Lifeblood.
Yeah.
That's about it.
Thanks, Steph. Heidi?
Yeah, similar to Felicity, mostly open, a handful of stores that we're still waiting to hear back from, but working closely with them to see what's possible in terms of support. We've had our budgets cut right back, so it's, again, being resourceful and just figuring out what we can do. It is encouraging, though, just to see how businesses are increasing their opening hours each week. We're seeing that gradual increase in traffic as well. We're not quite up to normal numbers just yet, but we're seeing growth week on week. So that's encouraging. And then, yeah, it's really just trying to find a way through at the moment. And I think understanding what a new normal is like.
Yeah. Thanks, Heidi. Narelle.
Just from Heidi's point of view, I was in the centre over the long weekend, and geez, it was interesting to see the upping of the numbers just in a week. I was there the previous week before the 1 June, and then the following weekend, it just was amazing to see the amount of people in there. But all the shops that I went into were just so rigid in the way that they were, the procedures, and there was people lined up out the doors, and yeah, it was fabulous to see all the things that they were doing. I don't know whether anyone knows, but knows about where they're up to, but I've got an update from the Ritz Hotel. So the Ritz hope to have a room to show, basically probably to show people who are interested in September, but the hotel will be open January, February next year. So, and it's the build, obviously people may have seen in the media, and also when they're driving down Bellarine Street, it's actually going along really nicely. It's a 4.5-star hotel with 128 rooms over 9 levels. So it's going along nicely at the moment. From a CGM point of view, from TACE, we'll be putting out an event alert to our media contacts as well, trying to get some leverage off that and some promotion around that. So that, yeah, we'll be putting that out. Our Visitor Information Centre, so the Wool Museum, has opened up over weekends at the moment. Our volunteers have not come back on board yet. That'll be all just worked through with the City of Greater Geelong, obviously with staffing. So just our full-time staff have been taking up shifts there over a Friday, Saturday and Sunday at the moment. So they're getting a little stream of numbers in. It's worth opening at the moment. It's not massive numbers, of course, but they are getting, you know, just some good interest in there at the moment. So that's happening. A lot of you may have seen a video that we put out about a week and a half ago, See You Soon. I thought it was a really warming, genuine video that we got about 8 or 9 operators to put to camera their willingness to see people back in the region. 3 venues that we did do within central Geelong, which was Geelong Arts Centre, Geelong Cellar Door, and also the Beach House down in Eastern Beach. I just thought it was just a really nice little video, and it can be reused sort of down the track. It's not something that will go out of date straight away, so that was good. Both from a state and a regional level, we're all focusing our energies on to the domestic market, obviously, because the international market is out of play at the moment. So domestic, particularly short break, and the VFR market will be looking to focus on. So that will be something that we'll be doing. From a perspective of our marketing, we've gone from that See You Soon video to then we'll be releasing brand narratives at the start of July. So brand atlases around the particular stages or regions of our region. So, you know, I think I said at last meeting, we'll be focusing on different aspects: Geelong, parts of the Bellarine, Queenscliff, Barwon Heads, Ocean Grove. So they're due to be completed by the start of July, which will be good, and we can put those out in our short break marketing and VFR, etc. We've also got the membership team have been ringing a lot of our members, so food and wine so far, also accommodation, to see where they're at. Similar to Central Geelong Marketing, we're putting out things like blogs, etc., on who's open and where they're at and what's happening. So just that, again, that recovery type phase. And one thing that we're doing at the moment as well is we've got free membership to tourism, Greater Geelong and the Bellarine right till the end of the year. So if you know anyone that may be interested in joining up, we are free till the end of December. So we'll be going out with our new membership buy-in from January. So the whole year at the moment is free. We're also promoting the fact that Visit Victoria, the state government, is actually funding online listings. So, which is through ATDW, which is the Australian Tourism Data Warehouse. So that gets syndicated through australia.com, Visit Victoria's website, and also our website. So that goes through, they're doing that right till the end of August. So as part of the membership, you get communication from us, industry communications, and you also get that online listing as well. So if anyone wants to, you know, promote the fact that we have got this free membership, we'd love that. We've got a subscriber tab on our website as well, which people can join up. So yeah, it's a great little initiative, I think, that we've got going.
Thanks, Narelle. Well covered off. I think we've gone through everyone on, just looking at everyone on the screen. Mark, did you have anything? Mark Gallen, did you want to?
A couple of things, Peter. As you picked up, the Geelong Fly, the Port Phillip Ferries, is starting to resume business, and they're heavily promoting Geelong as a destination for the weekend traveller. The carousel, which we've had closed for the COVID period, we're looking to open that again, as we are with other venues in the city, around about the 22nd of June. And we'll have to, as Narelle said, have to adopt some pretty strict sort of procedures there around social distancing and so forth. Our park and ride bus service has been continuing. It's got very, very low numbers, but we are going to sort of persevere with that nonetheless. And also, as Jody said earlier on, the device counts are starting to show a turnaround and an increase in foot traffic around the CBD.
Yep. Thanks, Mark. And I mentioned before, but some of the council initiatives as support packages. I shouldn't speak about it too much, but there's a range coming before us on the 30th of June that I think businesses like to support businesses, heritage, arts, culture initiatives, the tourism and events campaigns, domestic short break. I think you mentioned some of that, Narelle. Brand Geelong initiatives. Looking at something else there. International students. Anyway, this is a range that we discussed tonight, and then it comes back on the 30th of June, as I say, before council. So There's still a fair bit going on, but that's all from me. So, Jody, unless you've got anything else, I think we're just about done. 8:40, that's not bad, 20 to 9. All right, so thanks everyone. Have a good day. Hugo, you have something?
Sorry, I'm new to the committee. Should we move a motion to officially congratulate Jodie and her team on what they've achieved with Taste of Central Geelong? Because I don't know if everyone did actually look at what they've achieved, but I was, you know, it's a huge achievement. Now you've mentioned it in your official speech, but is it appropriate that we actually pass a motion? Because you're right, these are people that have turned on a dime, done it from home, and done it with venues that as today's indicated, venues where some are going well and some are really, really struggling. So I'd like to move a motion that we actually can formally congratulate, if that's appropriate, to the chair.
Yeah, so the motion is, let's continue this, Hugo. The motion is to congratulate Jodie.
All the team on the work, especially in relation to getting Taste of Central Geelong up and running, because I don't think we should underestimate for a second the work involved. So just a congratulations.
Now, Emma, did you get that?
Yes, I did.
Okay, well, I need a seconder for that motion. Greg? And all in favour? There you go. Well done, Hugo.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Is now minuted. All right, good way to finish. So thanks everyone. Have a good day and we'll see you next time.